Good day, everyone. This is Pineleaf Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and here at DDO Players. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Draculita.
Hey, everybody.
Hello there. And how are things going on your end?
Not too bad. I bought my Powerball tickets today, so I'm going to win that billions of dollars. I forgot what it's up to now. I heard it just went up again, so it's like 1.4 billion or something crazy like that.
1.4 billion?
Yeah, billion, not million. Billion with a B. So yes, I'm going to soon be a billionaire. Thank you very much.
Well, hold on. Doesn't that require the random number generator to shine upon you?
Nope. Oh, I forgot about that. Way to dash my dreams.
Way to dash your dreams, yes. So I suggest you don't quit your day job. Oh, that's right. You own your own business.
Hey, there you go. That's right.
And let's go into day news and DDO's 10th anniversary celebration. We have a post that's asking us, help us do a thing. What thing?
We don't know what thing. It's a very cryptic post from Korthos over on the official forums. He says in his post, we're planning a thing as part of our 10th anniversary celebration around update 30, and we would love your assistance. Then he says to answer this question in 150 characters or less. What advice or comment would your character like to tell the world of Dungeons & Dragons Online in-game? And he does add some notes that please make sure to also give your character name and server that they can attribute the phrase to. And this needs to be an in-game tip, advice, or comment. And they're going to be a bit flexible with it, but they want you to try not to break the, quote, fourth wall, end quote.
Try not to break the fourth wall.
So, not sure what they're going to do with these, but you can read through the thread. There's actually some pretty good ones in here so far, so we'll have to see what becomes of this. But you can help them do the thing they're going to do.
So then when they collect them all, it'll become the all thing.
Sure, why not?
I'll assume then that you don't know what the all thing is.
Guess not.
That's the traditional legislative body of Iceland.
Only you would know that, Pineleaf. Just saying.
Let's head into the DDO Chronicle issue 173. I'm sure there's something greatly exciting in there, right?
The DDO character planner has now been updated to reflect update 29. So you can click and use the character planner to plan your characters accordingly.
Does anyone actually plan their character 29 levels in advance?
Yes, they do. There is a lot of people that actually will plan their characters from 1 to, 30 now, since the level cap is now 30. You would be surprised at how much some people min-max their characters. And how they know at every level what they're going to take, when they're going to take it, why they're going to take it. It's the best way to take it, when to take it. Yeah, it's crazy.
You mean rather than people like me who just randomly throw things together as they go along?
Yes, that's how I do too. So
yes.
Not a min-maxer whatsoever. There's also a character called Nokawi, I guess I'll say. That sounds good. They are putting together a list of where various effects can appear in the new random loot. And I looked at this today, and this must have taken them crazy amounts of time to put together, because it's basically they're kind of listing what all the effects are on the random loot and what it does and how many times they've seen it come up. So they're taking a lot of time for this. And Priciosaurus in the chat says some people plan things out 6 lives in advance.
What?
So there you go.
6 lives in advance?
Min-maxing to its finest. 6 lives in advance. So there you go. Bonnie Bew also is singing a song about Festival. So click over and listen to her Festival Carol, which you can hear and see the video she put together up on her YouTube page. In the the fan site news, DDO Cast is taking a back look at 2015. So click and listen to their year-end review show. Spoiler alert, it was a lot more on the rails than ours was. I'll just put it that way.
A lot more on the rails than ours was.
The Damsels of DDO organized a Wolfpack raid run. You can click to watch that video. I was a part of that. It was crazy. It was fun. Make sure you watch that YouTube video because it is highly enjoyable. DDO Gamer grades the executive producer of DDO, and to take a look to see how he did in 2015 with what he said he was going to do in his last producer's letter. So click over and read what Jeff has to say about that.
Oh, you mean people actually pay attention to what was in the previous letter?
Jeff did, and he took Seb to task for everything.
Ooh.
So there you go, and that is pretty much it for our Chronicle this week.
Well, in the screenshot of the week, it looks like we've got an artificer on it.
An artificer taking center stage with his rune arm, and that's a pretty cool effect. That's pretty sweet screenshot they did at the exact right time there, it looks like.
You mean that fancy little close-up weapon that I keep on forgetting to use?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
you know that thing that you have that you never use? Yeah, that's what it looks like, buddy. Take notes.
Let's head into the store sales. Anything interesting on sale this week?
20% off stat tomes and for a limited time, plus 7 tomes. Skill and UMD tomes, tomes of learning. I'm sensing a theme here. Select tomes of fates and the Harper Agent Enhancement Tree, all at 20% off. Free sample of the week through the 14th. Long-lasting Eagle's Majesty Potion. 5 potions when you use the coupon code that you can find in our show notes.
So I have just one question. Do you know when we'll have a tome sale?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say now through the 14th.
Okay.
Just again.
All right, then let's head into our site news. There doesn't seem to be much site news this week. Sounds like you're begging for stuff.
I am, as a matter of fact. We need ideas for polls because I'll be honest with you, I am out of ideas for polls. So if you have a great idea that you would think would make a great poll on our site, send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. And also, while you're thinking of your cool ideas for polls, if you have any screenshots that you like, send those to me as well, because we're out of screenshots too. I've used all the community ones. I do have some of mine, but I kind of wanted to get some community ones too. So any screenshots you want to see on the site, podcast@ddoplayers.com, and we will be glad to put them up, and you'll be famous because you'll be on our site, and everybody wants to be on our site.
Would that be famous or infamous?
Maybe a little of both.
Yes, maybe a little bit of both. There is one little piece of news, in case anyone here has not heard about it, is that today was the day that the Locho servers finally made the migration over to the new server area in New Jersey. So that means now they are running with new equipment, of course, going through the pains of going through new servers because the hardware is trying to catch up and all that fun stuff and taking care of glitches and the like. So there have been a few glitches and a little bit of downtime, but it looks like that the servers are working. We will have to, I guess, wait a few days to see how it's going. And perhaps once they've evaluated this, they could start making a schedule for DDO.
And I did on Friday, as a matter of fact, during Korthos' Fridays at 4 stream, I did ask him when the DDO move would be, and he said he's not sure. They were going to wait to see how it went with Lotro and to see if there was any tips or tricks they can use. But that is something they're going to start looking at, and we should get some updated information on the DDO side of the server move soon. So hopefully we will move as well to the New Jersey data center.
Now, maybe that's one of the reasons why the producer's letter was being delayed until now.
That could be
is because they wanted to know where the move would be fitting in within the year before producing the letter.
That is true, because usually, and plus, they have the 10th anniversary thing coming up. They have Update 30 coming up. So I'm kind of sure that's kind of all up in the air because they don't want to try to juggle too much and have to move the servers and deal with all that as well. So we'll see what happens. But I would say soon-ish we'll get some info on the DDO side of the move.
Now, when you say soon, do you mean soon as in a normal person's definition of soon, or soon as in Turbine's definition of soon? Because you remember soon TM?
The soon TM.
Okay.
The turbine soon. Anytime we say soon, it's turbine soon. So.
Okay, it's turbine soon. All right.
Just remember that.
Then let's head into From the Dungeon. And Wizards of the Coast brings back some nostalgia. Ooh, what are they bringing back?
Now, you will get excited about this because I know I did. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you remember Kits, Pineleaf?
Kits?
Okay, apparently you don't. Apparently you just ruined my bit. Thanks, Pineleaf. Thanks.
Oh,
If you played AD&D 2nd Edition back in the early 90s,
remember, I didn't play second all that much.
that's true. Yeah, you didn't. They used to do this thing called kits. They were basically character options. They were introduced in, like, they had the Complete Fighter's Handbook, and then that pretty much became what they did. You would get, like, a Bard's Handbook, a Thief Handbook, a Ranger Handbook, etc., etc. And that would give you different options that you could do for your character. And most of them, let's just be honest, they weren't really good, actually. But some of them were pretty amazing. So this month's Unearthed Arcana is converting a few of those more popular kits that they had, and they're bringing them to the new era. And they are doing kits for the Bard and the Fighter. The Bards are getting 2 kits, the College of Swords and the College of Satire. And Fighters are getting the Cavalier and the Scout. And if you have any of the kits that you liked back in the 2nd Edition days and you would like to see them converted to 5th Edition, Mike Merles wants you to let him know on Twitter, and he can be found at Mike Merles. And over the course of the year, he said these kits might inspire some more Unearthed Arcana articles with the updated kits, and maybe some other things for the game. They just want to see how popular these become.
All right.
Now, my only thing that concerns me about this is this was what I say was the start of what I call the Splat book era. That is when they just released a bunch of crap Splat books. Because, like I said, you would get the Complete Fighter book, the Complete Mage book, the Complete this book, the book of this, the book of that. And
the book of tying your shoelaces.
Exactly. And they promised they weren't going to do that in 5th edition, because that was one of the major things that they said they weren't going to do in the edition that should not be named, and of course they ended up doing it. And I'm afraid this is setting them up to do that for 5th edition, so I hope they don't do that. I hope they just keep these to the Unearthed Arcana articles, which would be fine to do it that way, and release them by a PDF. I would hate to see them go the Splat book route now, so hopefully they won't do that.
So let's jump onto the tabletop.
Well, that's rude to jump on tabletops finally.
Well, how can we give a speech if we're not on top of the table?
Okay. I surrender the table to you then, sir.
Okay. Oh, all right. Turning the table into a podium, I guess. We'll begin with Asmodee, who has acquired the Catan series from Mayfair.
Who haven't they acquired lately? They are just going crazy lately. I don't know what they're doing.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, they now have the English rights to Catan, and of course they got that from Mayfair Games. And according to the companies, Catan will be published by a newly formed Catan studio. Well, actually, we were talking about this before the show. We say that this company's name very different. I say Asmodee, and you say
Asmodee.
Yeah. So whichever you want to say it, they're buying everybody. It's crazy. And Stephen Carvel, the CEO, said of the deal, "I'm very proud and honored that through this acquisition, we are becoming a major partner to Catan and the Tabor family, with whom we share common values and a clear vision for the Catan and for board games." This is what I didn't understand about this acquisition. They have the rights to publish the game now, but Mayfair Games still holds a controlling interest in Lookout Games, and they will assist Catan Studios, which is the newly formed company, in the promotion of the Catan brand, and also for any Catan tournaments, which usually happens at Gen Con, and Catan Day 2016 and the World Championships, which happens at Gen Con as well. So Mayfair doesn't own it anymore, but yet they're still going to help promote it, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but whatever. And as I said in my article about this is basically setting up Asmodee or however you want to say it, to be one of the biggest game companies around, because they did acquire Days of Wonder and Fantasy Flight, so they own a good chunk of the game market, well, the tabletop game market, I should say, right now. So we'll see what they buy next. I'm sure there's something out there that they don't own yet that they probably want.
Today Catan, tomorrow Hasbro.
Ooh, I want to see that happen. That would really be interesting. That would really shake things up.
Let's head into the Walking Dead miniatures game coming soon. Wait, don't we have enough zombie miniatures games already?
No, you can never have enough zombies games. That's crazy talk, Pineleaf. You're talking crazy. Zombies, we need more zombies.
We need more zombies? I would have thought you would have wanted more vampire games.
Well, of course I want more vampire games, but zombies are cool too. The company Mantic Games has announced that they are going to make a brand new miniatures game. And sorry for all the Walking Dead TV fans, this is going to be based on the comic book series.
Or what's the original?
The comic books.
Oh, so there was originally a comic book, then it got spawned into a TV series, then it got spawned into a episodic video game?
Mm-hmm. And into a RTS video game, and then into a first-person shooter video game, and some other type of game. So, yeah.
Now, tell me, how is it that it's taking them this long for... I would have thought there would have already been a miniatures game, considering that all the zombie games that are already out there, that The Walking Dead would have been done a long time ago.
And that's what I thought, too, because I was surprised, because I could have swore there was one, and when I got this press release, and I was doing some research on it, there was not another Walking Dead, but I swear there used to be a Walking Dead minigame. But this is going to be the first one, and it is directly licensed, so they are going to be able to take storylines from the comic books, and they're going to be able to use the comic book characters, which the TV show is doing as well, but there is some characters that appear in the comic books that are not on the show yet, or have not been on the show. The show, at this point, is pretty much on par with the comic books. They've changed the storyline a little bit. It's a little different, but it's pretty close now. So it'll be interesting to see who makes the board game versus who makes the TV show. This is coming sometimes this year. There's no street date for it yet. If we find out any more information about this, we will be sure to post about it. If you look at the articles, we do have some pictures of the minis, and I gotta say, they look pretty awesome. They did a great job with these minis.
I'm surprised that with as many... how long The Walking Dead, I think I've been hearing about stuff like this, that there's anyone left in that universe that isn't already a zombie. Well?
Sorry, I had myself muted. I had a witty comeback to that, and now I forgot what I said because I was muted. See, I ruined it.
Oh, you ruined it perfect.
Ruined it. I ruined a perfectly good joke.
Oh, well, then I guess we'll just have to go on to the next bit, which is Champions of the Galaxy review. And based on our discussion before the start of the word, this is about a wrestling game?
It is wrestling. It is a whole fantasy wrestling league that you can set up and play. It's set in space. This game has been around since 1995. I actually bought this game way back in the day when I was a younger lad. I owned this game, actually, because I used to be, back then, when I was a kid, man, I loved wrestling. I really, really loved wrestling, like most kids did. And I remember buying, I want to say it was like Pro Wrestling Illustrated was the name of the magazine, maybe? Something like that. I think that was the name of it. And I remember seeing these ads for this like wrestling game. And it had like cards and it had dice. And you could set up your own wrestling federation. And you could set up like pay-per-view events and all these cards, and you could like stage this whole thing, and it sounded awesome. So I remember like saving my money, and I bought this game. I want to say when I first bought it back in, it was like 95 or 96, I think. It was like $15, I think. And back then, that was a ton of money, because I'm trying to think of, at that time, what I would have been doing for a job, but I don't remember. But that was a lot of money anyway. So I bought this game, played this game. It was fun then, and I was talking to a friend of mine maybe early in October, and he asked me, he said, hey, whatever happened to that wrestling game that we used to play? And I was like, you know what? I can't remember what the name of that was. Google was my friend. I went to Google and I found out the name of it was Champions of the Galaxies. And I was surprised this game is still being made. It's been updated several times since it first came out. And I wrote to the company of Filsinger Games. And I just realized before I said 1995, I meant 1985. Popped into my mind.
Okay.
I said 95. It came out in 87 is when the game originally came out. And I think I bought it in maybe 88 or 89. I wrote the company and they said, hey, we'll send you a review copy of this if you want to play it and review it. And I said, sure. So they sent me this and I got it and they sent me the Best of Filsinger Games Starter Set Edition, which gives you some sample characters and then all the original characters that came with it. And I had so much fun reliving my youth with this game. I remember how fun this game was. How it works is you pick your 2 characters that you want to wrestle in your match, and each of them have the level 1 offense and the level 1 defense, and then they have up to level 2 or level 3. It depends. There's rules on which one to use. Call out, this character is going to do this move, and then you roll the dice, and then the other character, which can either be an actual other player, you can play it solo. Roll against your defense, and then that tells you what happens, and then so on and so forth. So it is a fun game. It's, as I said in my review, I think I enjoyed it more because I remember playing it back in the day. And I think you really have to have a little soft spot for professional wrestling, because if you don't like wrestling, I'm just going to tell you right off, you're not going to like this game, like whatsoever. But if you ever liked wrestling, if you loved wrestling as a kid, if you remember watching wrestling, I think you will enjoy this game. It is really fun. It's quick to play too. The matches don't take very long. And there's actually rules to where, like I said, you can set up a whole fight card, and you can do like a whole series of fights, and you can host tournaments. And they even have online play for this, which I did not try out or anything, but I did notice. I was on their website, and they have add-ons you can buy. So it is a fun game, and like I said, I relived my childhood playing this.
And of course, this is naturally based on ring wrestling as opposed to mat wrestling.
Correct. Yes, it's
just in case there's someone out there who
Yeah.
who was expecting a serious game about mat wrestling.
No, it's the quote unquote entertainment wrestling.
Yeah, the entertainment wrestling.
The, as they say, pro wrestling. So, check out my review. Go over to Phil Singer's website. Check out the game. And I just want to thank them for sending me the copy to review, because I had fun playing it, and I'm actually played it again the other night. So it is a fun game. I enjoyed it. And I got to relive my childhood, so what's better than that?
Just for information, the first issue of Pro Wrestling Illustrated was published in 1979.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
So I did have the name of the magazine. I was pretty sure that was
right.
the name of the magazine. Yeah, because I always remember buying those magazines as a kid, and in the back of the magazine, they had an ad for this game.
Yeah.
And it sounded amazing. But it was like $15, and I was like, I'm never going to have $15. I think I had to mow lawns for like 5 weeks to get like $15 to buy this silly game. So
yeah, the magazine is the longest currently published English language wrestling magazine.
Wow, it's still around?
Oh yeah, it's still around.
Holy cow, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's insane.
Strangely enough.
I'm just surprised I remember the name of it. That's
yeah.
That's kind of amazing. I got the name of the magazine right.
All right, let's head into our week in DDO.
I suppose this is when I talk, right?
Yeah.
I didn't do a lot in game this week. I did take my Shader Kai, which is still sitting at level 18, and I did the Devil's Gambit. I ran.
Hold on. You're telling me now that our characters that we do together have now passed your Shatter Kai?
Yes, but the reason for that is, I will tell you why. I actually am holding my level because I have enough experience to level, but I haven't been doing it. Because, to be totally honest, all I'm doing with the Shadow Kai right now is I'm running the Devil's Gambit quest to try to get those stupid drops, which I'm never going to get. Stupid RNG. So yeah, I've held my level. So probably by the time I level, I'll probably be 20 because I'm banking that much experience.
Okay.
So yes, that is why our characters have surpassed my Shader Kai. But yeah, the only thing I did is the Devil's Gambit with her Grim and Barrett. And of course, the quiver did not drop. Nobody's shocked by this at all, really.
Of course not.
It's not.
They're not quivering with fear of it not happening.
That's right. It's never going to happen. You would think one time I'll get like just one time.
Maybe the random number generator is saving itself for the Powerball.
That would be nice. Let's see. The only other thing I did, not with you, because I'll let you talk about that, is over on Arganesson with my Wolflock. He is still at level 18. Did the Eye of the Titan quest with Bonnie. She is involved in a new static group over on Arganessons, and she was trying to get enough experience to where she could level and then TR and go back to 1. And she was really close to having enough experience. So she said, come and run some quests with me. So I said, okay. So I took my Wolflock with her. We did Eye of the Titan, and we did Rainbow in the Dark. And that time running Rainbow in the Dark, I think I ran that quest 4 or 5 times now, maybe. That is the first time I've ever ran it where I actually held the staff.
Ooh.
So that was like totally different running that with actually being the one that had to run ahead to like provide the light. So that was an interesting twist for me doing it that way.
Now, how does a wolf hold the staff?
With my mouth, of course.
Okay.
How else would a wolf hold a staff?
I was just wondering.
And really, that's all I did besides what I did with you, but we'll let you talk about that.
Very well. Then we'll head on to my Artificer, where we ran Running with the Devils. Sounds a bit familiar, right? We ran Running with the Devils, and during that, we reached level 19. For those of you who are wondering, when did we hit 19? It was right after doing Running with the Devils. So we went and handled our leveling stuff. Then we returned to do Ritual Sacrifice.
I love the look of that quest. I still love the way that looks. The way that you're inside, but you're not really inside because you can look up and see the outside. It's just, I love that quest so much.
And after that, we ran the Green Steel tutorial. And now I have this greenish crossbow, and I'm still not exactly sure what I'm supposed to do with this crazy thing. Yeah, I know how to use a crossbow. I mean,
I was going to say, if you don't know how to use a crossbow, I think we need to talk by then. I think you need to pick a different class.
No, I can use a crossbow. I mean, all right. So what's so special about that? It seems to do less damage and have less special abilities than my current crossbow. So why use this green steel thing?
You have to upgrade it to do what you want it to do, and then there is certain effects that you can put on it to make it better against certain enemies or better in certain situations.
All right. So this is sort of a legendary type item.
Yes and no.
Okay.
But you're forgetting the most important part of all of this, though.
Yeah.
We are now flagged for Shroud.
Well, I was about to get into that. That was the next thing on the list.
All right.
Yes, I have that list.
Well, I guess you did. I'm sorry. I jumped ahead of you in the show notes.
Yes. So now you have already spoiled the whole thing. Of course, anyone here who knows the sequence for becoming flagged for the Shroud probably knows that running all of the Veil of Twilight instances and doing the Green Steel tutorial tends to get you flagged for the Shroud.
And that's right, because we want to get you to run a raid. So that was the whole purpose in this.
That was the entire purpose of this.
So now we just have to run the Shroud so Pineleaf can say that he actually partook in a raid.
And we will have to figure out when we are going to schedule this thing for.
And Brachiosaurus is saying regular green steel is awesome because it's level 12.
Because it's level 12?
Mm.
As opposed to these Paragon items that I have that are... Okay.
You and your logic, Pineleaf.
Let's head over to my Ranger from level 1 to 2, where I ran the Collaborator, taking care of Jacoby Drexelhand. You remember Jacoby Drexelhand?
That has to be one of the coolest names for a boss ever, I think.
Jacoby Drexelhand. After that, I then went into Korthos Island and ran I've got Brand Redemption, then Sacrifices, then yeah, I have a couple that I had forgotten to put in here. Stopping the Sahuagin, the Sahuagin, I guess.
Sahawajin. Ask Will Wheaton; he'll tell you how to pronounce it.
All right, yes. Okay, Redemption, Sacrifices, Stopping the Sahuagin, and the.
And Anding in the chat is saying that voice totally confirms that Evil Pineleaf is on the mic tonight.
Yes. All right, and I forgot the name of the fourth quest in there that you do before. Well, you think a number of times I was going to say
now hold on. Okay. All right, let's stop and relish this moment, shall we? Pineleaf, the king of Korthos Island, can't remember the name of the quest. And he's ran it probably, I don't know, 1 billion times by now. Oh, Pineleaf. Yes, I just dubbed you the king of Korthos Island.
The king of Korthos? And what makes me the king of Korthos?
Because you're the only person that does it every single time they make a character.
Well, no, I have 1 or 2 veteran characters I have completed. Very rarely, but on a couple of occasions I've done it.
You're a better man than I. That's all I'm telling you. I'm like, nope, I did it like 3 times. That's enough. All right, skip it. All right, I'm cool. We're good. Not Pineleaf. Oh, I must run Korthos. Must run Korthos. I need more Korthos in my life.
All right. I'll figure this out later. It's the one where you go down into the... Oh, whatever it's called. We'll then head into donations. If you would like to help support DDO players, you go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards that include a mention on DDO Players News or even be a guest host with us. We actually have some featured comments this week from Fuzzy Duck 81, who left a comment on the DDO store sales for January 8th through 14th. If you can only get one, in my opinion, go Harper Agent. It opens up a whole load of extra build possibilities by going Inspect for hit and damage on weapons, and is particularly great for builds that rely on skills such as rogues and artificers.
And Jeff Hanna left a comment on our Asmodee Acquires Catan from Mayfair article. He says, Gen Con is going to be very weird with only one company presenting all of the games.
The Asmodee booth, the Asmodee entire half.
Exactly.
We'll have Asmodee on one end, and we'll have Hasbro on the other end.
Yeah, it's about getting to that point, folks.
And there's no man's land in between them two. And Bonnie Bew left a comment on Wizards of the Coast brings back some nostalgia. Oh my gosh! Unearthed kits? Being a Baldur's Gate fangirl, this totally brings me back.
Kits were cool. I agree. I like the kits. They just got to be a bit much after a while, but exciting to see them try to implement them into 5e, though.
All right. Now, actually, concerning the whole thing with the Harper Agent on the store sales, as Fuzzy Duck said, that is when I was doing last year's session of going through all the classes on the 5 levels of permadeath. But one of my rules was Harper tree for all of them because it was the only tree that I could get on any class. So therefore, I had them all going on it. So therefore, with the current character I'm doing, I'm avoiding the Harper tree because I spent entire year last year doing it.
I can honestly say I have never put any points into Harper at all. Maybe I should play with it sometimes. I know a lot of I looked on the forums for different builds and stuff. And I know a lot of builds do have you splash either some Harper or they go all Harper, and then you just splash some other stuff. So as Fuzzy Duck said, it's apparently a really good tree because I know a lot of people like it.
And it is particularly good if you are very heavy, if your best one is Int, because it has the ability to use your attacks based on Int rather than on dexterity or strength.
Oh, okay.
So that's useful for your high Int one. So that was, I'm trying to think I can't remember whether my Artificer has a higher Int or dexterity, but
I'm thinking it's Int because it seems like a lot of the times it becomes to some int runes or whatever, you can end up doing them.
Yeah. So in other words, splashing a little bit Harper into that one up to a level where I could get the int bonus carryover. It's useful in that case.
Okay, that makes sense.
If you would like to email us, you could email us at podcast@ddoplayers.com. You could also follow us at Twitter, the Players Alliance at Players Ally, DDO Players at DDO Players, Draculetta at Draculetta_72, and Pineleaf at Pineleaf Needles. The Players Alliance has 4 live shows. Every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. Every other Thursday at 9 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Locho Players News. And every other Saturday after Locho Players News, we have Tales of the Free Folk. You can join us for our live shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight. And this is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.